How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today finally the update for modern tanks has come into the game. We've got a whole new season. We're going to go through everything that came in through this update in Garage in the game, and we'll basically give my opinion on the various different things in the game. And also I want to see what you guys actually think about this update, if you've managed to get on today so far. If you haven't, if you're just kind of looking as to what is actually going to come, we'll make sure to cover that all for you in this video. So without further ado, we will get straight into it. So the first thing that you'll get when you come onto World of Tanks console is this screen here. You'll be able to pick the various different game modes that you'll play. We've got the World War II mode that you're, used to being able to play, and then we've got Cold War up at the very top. You're able to pick between two game modes. You've got the multiplayer and the co-op mode. The multiplayer obviously is just like you would in World War II. It's the exact same. Co-op, however, is a game mode where you'll be able to play 15 humans on one team against 15 AI opponents. They're like bots. You'll get reduced silver for playing in this game mode, so you won't get as much silver and you won't get as much XP as you would if you played against real opponents, but it is a great place for new players to go and have a little run around, learn the game a little bit, learn positions on certain maps, learn the maps that are brand new in the game. Obviously we've got 4 brand new maps, one for each variant. We've got the winter, the desert, we've got the summer, and we've also got like the jungle one, winter, all the various different appearance types for the camos. You'll see that in Garage you can actually switch between different like camouflages, which means that it will change the Garage background. So you go from winter, summer, desert to urban. So we've got various different ones that you can pick. You'll also note that when you come onto the Cold War game mode, you'll have 2 free tanks that are sat there on your account. These are the 2 tech trees, otherwise known as the Western and Eastern Alliance. So you'll see that there are 2 different tech trees. Currently there's only 1 line in each of them, so you can only research 9 tanks on each alliance. So it really depends on which top tier tank that you really like the look of. Going from tier 1 to the top tier costs you around about 1.369 million XP earnable in this game mode. Going to be really a long grind to be able to get to there in the end, but it'll be worth it, I think, to pick up to some of these. Obviously it's the matchmaker works by you can match up against anyone in the same era, so if you're playing in the M46A1 pattern, you'll be able to come up against the M48A5 pattern, so that's like +2 -2, if you get what I mean. You'll be able to come up against similar opponents in the same era. You see that actually on screen right now you're able to see that this has number 1 next to it in the top right corner. That means that it's the first era, it's the post-war era. Then you move into the second era, as you can see with the M60 pattern, and that will mean that you can actually play against these various different other tanks. There's 3 of them up to the M60A3 pattern. All of them will be in the same era and the same matchmaking, so you'll come up against each other when you're playing. And then when you move on to the third era, you'll be able to play against obviously the same 3 different tanks. These are the M1 Abrams, the M1A1 Abrams, and the M1A2 Abrams, all in the third era. They'll also match up against the opposing tanks, so you'll have the T-44A, the T-54, the Object 165 in the first one. Then you move on to the T-62 in the second era. You've got the T-72A, the T-72AV, and then that's it for the second one. And then obviously moving on, we've got the T-72B, T-72BM, and the T-72BU. Now, one thing I noticed when I was looking through these various different tanks was actually the penetration values and the armor values that you get on these tanks. They're absolutely ridiculous in comparison to the World War II tanks. Obviously that's because they've advanced quite a lot. You'll see that there's loads and loads of different armor profiles on these tanks. You can see just how much penetration you get with your standard rounds. 592 on the M1A2 Abrams, which means that you're going to find it very difficult to bounce off of any of the lower tier tanks that you come up against. You'll see the lower plate of the M1A2 Abrams is actually 395mm. It's angled slightly, so you'll realise that the effective armour is slightly more, so you'll probably need 450 to 480mm of pen to be able to go through that. obviously the upper plate is quite well angled and you'll probably just bounce off that if you're on a level playing field with it. It really depends if you're looking down onto it, at which point it might become fairly weak. Now, turret cheeks of the Abrams are actually fairly decent, and I don't think that you're going to be penning the turret very easily. Obviously in game we'll have to learn that. The back of the tank is really weak, so you'll be able to pen that with HE, I expect. Although these tanks don't appear to have actual HP. You'll see that the M1A2 Abrams has 4,000 hit points. That's a lot more than any tank in the game. That's over 1,000 more than the Maus in World War II game mode, so you've got a lot more hit points to use. You'll notice that the M1A2 can actually go 67 kilometers an hour. When we compare that with the Russian side, you can go 60 kilometers an hour in the T-72BU. The armor profile of this, obviously I can't go through all of them, otherwise I'd be here for ages, but you can just see how much angling it has, how much spaced armor it has, and just loads of bobbly bits that you'll have to learn where the weak points are. I will do some weak point guides very soon, but that won't be in this video. We're just going to go over everything that you need to know. And the next bit that you might want to know is actually the detailed statistics. This is available for both World War II and Cold War, so you can actually have a look at what the detailed statistics are. If you do that, if you want to find that out, what you have to do is you go to your customization of the tank, then you can go to Overview, Armor Viewer or Module Viewer and press Y or triangle on PS4 I think, or PS5 or whatever PlayStation you're playing with. That will come up with this page here. You can see various different things. You know, you're looking at the horsepower, top forward speed, then you've got top reverse speed, whole rotation, you've got your penetration values, you've got your max elevation, max gun depression, you've got all of the various different things that you'll need in order to know, and some things that you don't particularly need to know but will be useful for you in the game. Now, I think that this is obviously a really good update so far as to the UI. There's been a few good changes put in there. I'm appreciative that they've actually put in some effort with some of that. Kind of annoying not to see any more detailed statistics on your tanks. Obviously we don't get to know what the actual percentage of our marks is unless you actually play in game with the tank, and then it will come up if you've already got one mark, which is really annoying, and that's kind of annoying, just not being able to actually have a look at that, and I'm hoping that they'll actually manage to do that. Now you've got various different things. We've got World War II medals that you can have a look at. There's various different ones that you'll be able to pick up. Obviously there are going to be Cold War medals that will come out very soon, I expect, as part of all of this. Not entirely sure, but obviously that will get developed as we go on. The Season Pass is obviously brand new. You can pick up that for 2,000 gold, or you can pick up the Ultimate Season Pass for 14,250 gold. Comes with that plus 125 kind of levels, which is 25, which correlates to 25 levels of the Battle Pass. So if you actually have a look, you'll get to level 25. That will take you up to here. On the Battle Pass, that will give you a little bit of an advantage if you purchase it. You'll also get the T55A as part of that, which is the only kind of Cold War tech tree premium tank that you can pick up, other than the American or the Western Alliance, which is the T95E3. Now you can't currently purchase that at the moment, and I don't know why that is, whether that's because it's going to come out very soon as part of the deals or something that you can actually pick it up with. Not entirely sure, but we haven't been given any more info on that. For the tier 100 of the actual Season Pass, if you've purchased it, you'll get a 3D commander in the form of Jennifer Hall, and also the Atomic Centurion, but that is a free one. If you want an actual premium tank as part of the Season Pass, you'll get the Russian or Soviet Sherman for World War II mode. You don't get any other premium tanks, and you'll get the classified and confidential key cards, as well as your top secret key cards for reaching the various ranks. The nearest key card from level 1 is actually level 55. You'll get some decent gold back, and purchasing the season pass, if you play the game enough, will 100% give you your gold back just from the key cards and the actual gold value that you can actually get in game. So it's really, really good to pick up the season pass if you play this game enough to be able to get to rank 100. You'll notice this season lasts 55 days, which is a long season. This one lasts 8 weeks in total, which means you'll be able to get to level 100 fairly easily if you play the game, relatively enough. If you come on, log on, do your dailies, you'll manage to complete various different operations, and you'll probably get there to be able to get your gold back, and also give that chance of getting some premiums as well as guaranteed premiums as well. So I really think the season pass is worth it if you're going to purchase anything on the game. It's the best thing to buy. It's only costing you £9, I think it is, if we actually have a look at how much gold is. It costs you less than £9, so it's probably about £6 to £7, although the cheapest deal you can get is 3,000 gold, and that's £10. So, Wargaming doing their typical thing of charging you 2,000, and there's no actual option to just buy 2,000 gold. So you either have to buy 1,200, which is pretty much the same price as buying the 3,000. So yeah, if you're going to purchase the season pass and you haven't got any gold, then definitely buy the 3,000 one. It's just a better deal, especially considering you only pay like 80p more for an extra 1,000 gold. Now, there are a few deals this week. We've got a few ones that I'd like to just go over. The Absolution, this is a broken mercenary tank that you can pick up. Absolutely disgusting tier 6 that if you really want to get it, then you certainly should. It's only 3,000 gold, it's not a massive amount. It is a tier 6, so it's quite an expensive one. It comes with a crew with it, so I guess it saves you an extra 500,000 silver if you wanted to get a crew early on with a good tank that does train up your crew quite easily. The other one is the Audace Cannonda Assaulto 105. This one is on 50% discount. It's a French tier 8 tank destroyer. It's it's not a bad one. It's not an amazing one. Certainly fun for people to have a go at. Kind of like a tier 8 E25 with a bigger gun with a 105. It's kind of cool to have a look at. Does get a little bit of armor, I think, but nothing special. As far as bundles, this week we haven't particularly got any ones that I'd recommend. If I'm going to be truly honest, I don't think there's any I'd really recommend to you guys. I think that it's up to you really with this week's bundles. I'm not going to go into them in too much detail, but there's nothing that stand out, and I certainly wouldn't recommend any of them if you're not really fussed about getting premium tanks. There's nothing that's really screaming to go and actually purchase it. Now, Cold War tanks, you can purchase them straight away. So this is how you get that T95E3. It costs you 15,645 gold for the T95E3, or 15,715 gold for the T55A. Ridiculous prices, and I would never ever recommend actually purchasing that much gold in order to purchase them. You're looking at £40 for a tank on a game. Not really recommend that ever. You can pick up much better deals. Just don't do that. It's not going to be worth it. They're not going to be super overpowered, and you might be able to play in the T55A, but currently, since no one's going to have any of the tanks, you'll probably be waiting in the queue for a long time, and you'll probably have to play the PvE mode anyway, because no one's going to have got to that kind of level yet in the game. Now, in terms of the vehicles, obviously you get these two. There's a few new equipment slots that you can actually put on your tanks. We've got the Advanced Powertrain, which increases your max speed and your max horsepower by 5% each. That's crazy. It's going to mean that you can get up to stupid top speeds in various different tanks, along with an improved traction system, which increases your max speed as well by 10%, and a chassis and the whole rotation speed by 10% as well. So both of these combined will give you a 15% bonus to max speed, and a 5% bonus to max horsepower, and also a 10% bonus to chassis and whole rotation speed. If you then stack that with the enhanced fuel boost, you'll be going a stupid amount faster than any other tank in the game if they aren't using them. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. You can get like a 20% boost to max speed. You'll be able to go a ridiculous speed. Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see out some of these builds that you get in the game, and yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'll try and give some more content to you guys as soon as I can, and when I've got time. I'm going to be hopping on every day to try and get some gameplay footage of various different tanks using various different setups. Going to go through loads of different guides for you as to the new mode and give you some gameplay and stuff like that. So I hope you stay tuned. If you do want to stay tuned, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Come back every day and there'll probably be some new content there for you to have a look at, if you like that anyway. Otherwise, we'll crack on with this video. We've got a few new consumables, so we've got the enhanced smoke screen, which is this thing where basically you can launch a vision blocking smoke. This will just allow you to create camo essentially in the middle of the battlefield. It takes a 2-minute cooldown, which is a long time, and it has acted for 15 seconds, so you can pop it. You can use it as 15 seconds of cover. It will mean that you don't get detected, it will act like a bush. And its passive boost will also give you 20% invisibility, so you won't be able to get spotted, or it will make it harder for enemies to spot you by 20%. You know, you can put that with various different equipment. If you add it with advanced concealment and you've got some of the crew perks, this is going to be crazy for creating some interesting builds, and I think it will be really interesting to see. Certainly a good addition, and I like the smoke screen. One addition I'm not such a fan of, but you know, it's not going to be that much of a big deal, is the enhanced hole patch repair kit. You can restore 5% of tank HP over 20 seconds, so it's not a big deal. You're not going to be, you know, taking that much less damage. You're not really going to... I wouldn't warrant using this personally, but that's just because I'd rather avoid the damage in the first place and use something that is going to actually heal all my crew members. It's going to boost my crew performance, or it's just going to enable me to actually get away from being hit in the first place. It's not going to take 20 seconds to restore some of my hit points. To be honest with you, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the enhanced hole patch repair kit, other than just trying it out for a few times. But yeah, it certainly might be interesting if you're using it in the mouths, because it will actually, or not in some heavily armoured tanks that rely more on the armour throughout the line, that you can have a look at. But personally, not something I'd be interested in. In terms of ammo, obviously premium ammo is quite... it's not even that expensive on this. For some reason the ammo on the standard rounds doesn't cost anything, and the premium ammo only costs 800, so it's not a lot. I don't know if that changes as you go through the tech trees. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but apparently it is only 800 silver per shell for the heat ammunition. Now, I'm probably just going to load quite a bit of heat in there just because it's so cheap at the minute, and I think that might be a glitch for testing. I don't know, but I'm going to do that on my tanks just to be sure, in case, you know, it is just a glitch or something. So there you go. That's with regards to the tanks. We've got various different things. The new season is out. We've got commanders that you can pick up. Got various different tanks that you can go down. I think it's going to be really interesting. We'll have a little bit of gameplay in the end of this video that you can have a look at what it actually looks like in game. But we'll have a quick look on World War II as well, and just to have a look at some different things that you'll see. Obviously, when you've got a commander in your tank, you can actually see that it shows their name above the tank. So you can see here my E5 has a commander in there. You'll be able to actually see who they are and whether they've actually got a commander. So another thing that you might want to see is that actually on the filter system for the premium tech tree, you can actually filter it into whichever tanks you might want to have a look at. Really good. I'm appreciative that they've actually managed to do that. So you can see that you can filter by nation, you can filter by tank class, you can filter by tier. So if you want to have a look at a specific tank, you can just do that in the actual screen. You can make sure that you have the filter where it says unowned is on, so it will only show tanks that you don't already have. Really useful, and certainly something that's interesting. For some reason, apparently I can pick up the Ironclad for 1 gold. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, you can see that there's various different things that you can actually pick up in the game. Like that, if you want to have a look at some Russian tanks at tier 8, it will come up with all of them that are at tier 8. It will show the ones that you do own already and also ones on discount. You can actually search by the ones on discount too, so if you have a look down at the bottom near Tech Tree, it will say tanks on sale. It will give you an option to have a look at all of them that are on sale right now, which is really useful. It shows you the actual discount in the top left, shows you 15%. And you can pick any of these up, obviously, if you want to. Now, that's really, really useful, but I would have liked to see it for the actual tech trees as well. I don't know why they wouldn't just implement it for every single tech tree, where you could just filter system through all of them. Not entirely sure, but hopefully we'll see that in the future. Commanders, they haven't changed too much, other than being able to apparently filter through in the future. Not entirely sure if that will be able to do that anytime soon, but hopefully we'll get an option within the customization screen where we can actually just apply a commander easier than what we can right now. I think that they're actually working on that, so that will be coming in fairly soon. I hope, at least, anyway. So you can see that you can just assign your tank. You have to go through this whole process and then pick your various different filter system and then go and apply it to the tank that you actually want the person in. I mean, other than that, that is pretty much it. We'll put some gameplay at the end of this if you want to stay tuned and have a look at that. There will be the playlist that will go through all of the information that we've been given as to these. We've got some videos on the smokescreen consumables. We've got ones on the 3D commanders that will be seen in Garage and at the end of the game. There's loads and loads of different content on the channel, so you can have a look at that if you really want to. It will be on screen right now. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.